Good morning. Good morning out there. How y'all feeling? It's the 30 Day Show. I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host, Cameron Calvin.
Good morning.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling refreshed.
Good morning. Oh, sorry. I got it. I don't know why my sound gonna be off on my Instagram. Okay. Instagram's all loaded up for the people. Okay, first of all, I just want to say this. I think that people are what do I want to say? People are underestimating, overestimating. Let me do that. People are overestimating how easy it is to use AI to build an app. Because or build anything like the vibe coding thing. And I think it depends on your level of knowledge because like where something being good enough stops for you is really gonna be the determination on like whether or not you're good at this thing. Because if you
Please tell me
know,
more.
so shout out to Maria, and I think her business partner comes today. But shout out to Maria, who's part of the morning crew. She's here has been here all 21 mornings. Maybe she missed one morning. Because today is day 21 of the 30 Day Show. Whoop whoop. They say it takes 30 days to build a habit. Well, we are building a habit of bringing you great perspectives. Um, so anyway, so Maria built this great initial build out for me of this app, which I've now named the Breathing Bell. Okay. And but me um
I like that name, the breathing bell.
yeah, thank you. But me being someone who's built out proprietary software before, me being someone who has a background in computer science, I am like, this needs to look a certain way. I need it to flow a certain way. To think, like I knew it was gonna be more than just like, hey, this is great. We can use it as is. It's like, nah, 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 nah. I know all this. The way this has to flow and the way I'm trying to do it was gonna take way more conversation. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and jump in and get this thing down myself. Which it took me back. I was talking to my homegirl yesterday that I went to college with, and I was telling her like, this is taking me back to like being in the lab, searching, figuring it out. But
Were
back
you
then we
co-
had to
were
write
you
it
did
by
you have to
hand.
code? Did you have to code in college?
What? Yeah, my degree is in computer science, bro. Like that's what you did. Like we're like, what else did you do? You know what I mean? Like that was the point. Like yes, you had to code. Now you don't have to necessarily code. Here's what I say though: the great thing, like once you get everything, says a couple things. Once you get everything connected, Claude Code, Supabase if you're using a database, Vercel if you're using an app, if you build an app, GitHub where you're gonna store your code. Once you get all that connected though, I would say it's a dream to build the way you can build right now.
Hmm.
Because it's so like, hey, like the level of Claude Code is acting as not only the IDE or the integrated development environment, the place where I'm building the code, but it is also acting as my what is it when you call the people, my help desk. So I'm like, hey, this thing didn't happen like this, and I'm like, here's a screenshot. It's like, oh, it ain't happen like that because this needs to be over here. Hold tight, I'm gonna put it over there. All right, like, or hey, you need to download this because that ain't gonna do what you need to do. All right, bet. Okay, hey, oh, here's what you do. And I'm like, hey, give me the steps of how to do this thing. All right, bet. Here's how you do this thing. So, like, I think that right there, and I would say that, like, this is really showing me that AI has the potential. Good morning, Tiffany. AI has the potential to really knock out help desks.
Oh, for sure. You
Like,
can you can probably you can between AI chatbots, intuitive chatbots, and we've already had chatbots before, and I feel like so many companies use those help desks that with the automated voices, but AI can have the voice. It can probably be solve even more complex problems, and then actually institute those changes within a system. if it's coded properly.
Yeah. Yeah. Um uh yeah, because like I think I'm loving that part though. Because really you don't necessarily need anybody. And I had this human moment. So I want to like, I think this is also important to note. I had these moments where I was like, I need to call my homegirl. Cause like, okay, so my homegirl, Tanika that came here,
Mm-hmm.
she helped me get everything connected. She's like, okay, you're gonna need this, go into this, do this. Okay, you're gonna need that, go into that, do that. She helped me get like my Claude set up. She helped me like understand how to use it in different modes, like how to use it in training mode versus how to use it in a different mode. So she showed me how to like, she's like, look, don't. Here's the thing she told me too, that I think that people need to pay attention to. She said you need to go into the regular Claude and tell it to create a product plan first. She's like, you need to lay out every feature you want. You need to lay out every like way that you want this thing to work, and you need to talk to it. Have it create a product plan first. After it creates a product plan, it created like in like a Word doc. She's like, nah, you need the was it the XML? I can't remember which one of those files, but she's like, you need. No, it wasn't HTML, but I think it was XML. But she's like, you need this other file. I'm like, all right, bet. So I took that text-based file and I put it into the other Claude, into the training mode. Okay, which is like, it's a whole, I can't explain it. But she's like, do it in this mode, because then in this mode, it'll keep talking to you about what you need to do. Don't do it in the other mode, because after you click yes to everything, it's just gonna make all the decision for you. So I was like, bet. So we did it that way. I put the product plan in. The product plan was a huge part in understanding exactly what I wanted to happen. So once I put the product plan in, and she told me to tell it to like checklist along the way. So as I told the checklist along the way, every piece is like checking off from the product plan what I want to get done. Now this is what was also interesting. It gave me in the product plan. It gave me like month one. It gave me like phases to create it. It doesn't say 2 to 4 months for this, a month for that. And I was like, I don't think this is gonna take me this long to do. This is if you were doing it with a human. And she's like, yeah, it is. So, but the kicker to that is I had to tell it certain things that I wanted in phase one that it had programmed out that was going to be in like phase two of the rollout.
Wait, let me make sure I'm following. When you're asking, you do the product plan and you lay that out, you talk through, and you do that in regular Claude, or Claude, is that Claude Cowork or Claude?
I did it. No, I don't have Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork is a desktop version. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready to download something that integrates to everything on my desktop, because I'm not careful enough about my prompts. Because I told you about the guy who he erased all his wife's images. And she was a photographer because he's like, clean up my desktop. Like I do need to, I mean, clean up my whatever. I do need to clean it up, but like my prompting is not clear enough yet where I wanted to integrate into all the apps on my computer. I'm not there yet. So no, this is just, I use the Claude Online. Just Claude.ai. That part. The cool thing about the product plan and the phasing and the rollout was also me taking another look at like what it is I wanted to build and like how exactly I want it to work. All right, so here's the product plan. Base of the app is built, but there's a bunch of tweaks. Like the bell that it created was whack. I'm like, I don't want this bell. I want my own bell. So I went to Gemini. I'm like, all right, Gemini, I got a 3B Society logo. I want you to build the breathing bell logo based off of that. Gemini, dope logo, came out with it. I'm like, yes. Then I told Gemini, I'm like, look, I want you to animate this logo so when you open it up, the bell swings back and forth. So it animated logo, bell swings back and forth, ding, ding, ding when you log in, when you show up to the page. However, you can't upload videos in the cloud like that. So if you put it in your folder, you have a path to it, it can pull it and put it in a placement, but it can't necessarily manipulate it or anything like that. And you can't upload a video into it. So I'm like, oh man, boo. Cause then like you go to it and it's got a block around it. So it's got a square around it. And the logo animation was dope. but I needed to match it up with the background of the app. So then I'm like, okay, I need to match this up with the background of the app. So Claude is like, all right, well, Gemini's like, we not taking the box off. Gemini's like, this all we got. This all we could do. You gonna have this VO. If you got a free Gemini, you gonna have this VO logo at the bottom. That's what's up. That's what you get. And then Claude was like, well, look, we could do it, but you need to get it. It was the level that I went to try to get his logo to do what I want to do was wild. Let me just say that. And let me just say I was unsuccessful. So it's taking me even further back because now I'm going to do the flat logo. Right now you can still see the box. I'm putting it into Illustrator and then I'm going to vectorize it, redo it so it's a real true like you use it for whatever I want to use it for, but like a
Adobe
real true
Illustrator,
actual.
you had to integrate Adobe Illustrator with Claude. Does Claude
No. You're not listening. So this is what I'm right now talking about how I want to place this logo on my page, right? In order for me to place this logo, one, I wanted to have the animated logo be placed there, but you can't upload a video, and the animated logo that Clyde was creating for me is whack. So the image that I created, I wanted to animate. Now, back in the day, if you wanted to do that, you would use Flash. You would go in, you would do, and this is when like you
Flash
have
was so hard to you can mess that
Flash
up.
was really challenging for people. You could integrate Flash into Dreamweaver, which was the goal, because then it would be seamless, right? And I think that's the thing that's kind of missing from some of today's things. It's like you don't have that system anymore. But I would say that where the platforms actually work together. So like I think with Claude, maybe it eventually like work with maybe Canva or work with maybe Gemini may not work with it. Maybe, I don't know. But where it can integrate the graphics you create more seamless, like graphics you create. Claude gave me a bunch of different ways to try to get that graphic on there and animate it, but it didn't work. Like we did a green screen to try to match the backgrounds up. Actually, was pretty dope, and I didn't think about that. But like Claude was like, "All right, just tell Gemini to give you a version with the green screen, and I can try and take the background off with this other plugin." So we did all that. That caused me though to do that other plugin. That caused me to go to my actual terminal on my computer and have to put in commands on my computer. Long story short, I'm saying all that to say, depending on how specific you want to get, there's layers to this. Okay. Vibe coding and letting it decide whatever it want to provide for you in graphics, that's one thing. But if you want to do like very significant things to your own graphics, there's other things you're gonna have to do. Now, I used to have a swag company. So I used to have a merch company where I printed merch for other people. I also printed merch for myself. So when it comes to like how to manipulate the graphics, like how to vectorize it and stuff like that, these are things that I already knew. But I wasn't planning on having to have to do that. But if you're creating any images in Gemini, there's other steps you might have to take. Now, if you're just creating like flyers in Gemini, it's dope because you can take any flyer online, put it in the Gemini and be like, I want to recreate this flyer for me. You can put in the images you want and that you want to have, the like if you have faces on it, whatever, and it just recreate it. It's pretty dope in that way. So I do love that about Gemini. Also, Gemini's doing the thing with the images and the video. I can't lie. Well, VO3. So behind Gemini, there's Nano Banana, which does the images, and there's VO, which does the animations. They are dope. Where you plug them into what and how is the next layer of what you got to figure out, depending on what you're trying to build. But I was locked in, yo. When I say I was locked in, I was locked in for hours on this joint. Cause I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get this thing where I want to be. And I'm still tweaking it just a little bit. It's almost where I want it to be. Where once I get the audios in there, we'll be good to go. And then the pushing live from Claude to GitHub. I just had to reacclimate myself to coding. Because at one point it was life. I'm talking like in college, you in a lab every day trying to build something. Like, or trying to tweak something.
What does being in the lab every day look like? Does it just like y'all in a computer lab, like
literally, bro?
Like just a quiet room, Are y'all talking to
I don't know
each
if it
other?
was quiet. Yeah, we
Like
be
I never
talking.
went over the reason why. Like we had a architecture building, we had an engineering computer science building, and those when I say were like the most, they're right on campus at Howard, but it's like you only went there if somebody, they were so off in the cut, not even off in the cut, they were so non-used unless you were in those schools that often some of their like meeting rooms, I mean not meeting rooms, their classrooms and classrooms in the basements and stuff was where you would have like your interest meetings for like your various organizations, and like it was considered the secret room. Like they were, if you were, you might go into the engineering, like if you were walking around after midnight, because those both of those school buildings were stayed open 24 hours with like your key card, because I guess the kids had to be there really long, and so you could go in there and find people pledging and stuff like that, after 1 o'clock in the morning, because it was so discreet, so like offbeat. Those kids were in their own silos. They usually were not the most like social people. You're like, you might pop. There were people I popped up and graduated. Like, you went here? They're like, yeah, I was an engineer. Like, you just never saw me. So I don't know. I'm always wondering, like, what are y'all doing in there?
Yeah, we was in that coding. But you know, you be talking to each other, you know what I'm saying? And if you in there late night, yeah, you might be having fun or whatever. Like it wasn't, or you might be helping each other out. You know, that's another thing. It's like, yo, I'm trying to take a look at this because I can't see how to, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I done blah like he's giving me this, you know, or like, look, what did they say about how you bop? Like, so you might be in there helping each other out. You might be laughing and joking and coding at the same time. I wonder what it's like now. Because like I said, we actually had to write line for the most part. So like there was no automation this way where you could just be like, hey, AI, I want to do blah. Heck no. Nah, not at all. You was literally writing like line for the most part. Um or if there were visual editors that you could use, like when we so to use so I had to download Visual Studios in order to connect my cloud and to connect my GitHub and all that. And I'm like, yo, Visual Studio is old. Visual Studio is a old product. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope to see these things that we used back in the day integrate into this new, like, oh, this is the way now is used for modern day using AI vibe coding. I'm like, hey, that's pretty dope actually. Cause that's interesting the way that these people survived all these years as tech evolved, because you always will need an IDE, you know, integrated development environment.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's dope. It's dope. So I'm happy about where I got to, and I'm still vibe coding it to people send me messages. I'm still vibe coding it. I'm still vibe coding it now. I'm still telling it what to do because it hasn't done everything I need to do.
So you took it out of the hands of Maria and your.
Yeah. So Maria was so great. I don't know where she went. She was in the waiting room. I think her and her co-founder. I mean, her. Actually, Maria's time is not until what's 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not until 10. Actually, Don Myers. Do you know Don Myers?
Don Midas?
Myers.
That sounds familiar, but no.
I'm surprised because she went to Howard. She also worked on the Obama campaign. We y'all see each other, you might know each other. Actually, y'all should know each other. Let me think about that. But yeah, the let me think about it in a couple of different ways. But yeah, Don, you gotta know Don. But if you don't, I'll
Kind
be
of
surprised.
LinkedIn.
So she's gonna
Dawn Myers.
yeah, she'll be here in a minute. Um she is the founder of Ritualist, the creator of the Mint. It is a hair tool for delivering product to your hair and heat at the same time. So she can hopefully, I'm hoping she has it with her. You know what? She should.
Ritualistic. Her face looks familiar, and we both worked on. Oh no, yeah, I don't know her. She went to
Oh,
Harvard
okay.
Law, but I've
She
seen her face before.
she went to Howard too,
Yeah,
I
I see.
think.
I
Oh,
don't know
okay,
if
okay.
it's Harvard Law. Maybe.
Uh, but yeah. I thought she went to Howard. Did I go to Howard? I'm about to ask her that. But anyway, she'll be here in a minute. Hopefully, she brings it to us. She does a little demonstration for us. I didn't tell her to do that, so maybe she won't be ready for that. But I'm gonna ask her anyway. And then Maria and her folks supposed to come on a little later, and her business partner and whoever Miss Dr. Davincia Warren was supposed to come on coredmv.org. I actually don't we probably have met somewhere, but what she wanted to share is wealth is not reserved for a specific demographic, and despite limited access, there are tools, resources, and organizations to support this journey, and her organization is one of them. Well, she didn't come, so I don't know what her organization does, but I do like the idea that wealth is not reserved for a certain group of people. But I also want to keep into context that in the realm of building wealth, the Black community is like in if we would put it in grade years, we're like in the like third grade. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is like not in our intellect. It has nothing to do with us in that way. Just as a culture and development of freedom, right? Like our generation, those who are in your 40s, are the most free that we've ever been to move about the planet as a community. And so in that case, there's a lot of I think from our parents' generation and us, there's a lot of pressure to be the ones to build wealth that feels like it can stem backward into time and forward. Like it feels like it gotta make up for what didn't happen, and then they gotta make up for what didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's on us. The pressure's on us to do that, and I think it's an immense amount of pressure that we don't necessarily talk about all the time. Whereas like, so then I think that's where also a lot of the like, where should I be now in life comes into play, which I think everybody deals with, but it's really pressure, I think, on the Black community to be like, hey, y'all got the most privilege, y'all got the most rights, y'all got the most freedom to do whatever you want. Like my mom and dad were in the first like integrated school, integrated schools,
Let me stop there. When you say the current Black community and our generations,
No, current
or,
generation.
or just everybody in the Black community, why do you think we have more pressure than other racial groups? I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. So let's clarify first. Generationally, if you are in your 40s, you are the most free Black person that has been Black. So let's
Even
start
more
there. Do
than
you
the
understand it?
ones younger than us, because they're losing rights.
They're after us. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you say
Generationally, they're
generation.
after us, is what I mean. So you're the first layer of that first layer of freedom.
Okay, I get you there.
Yeah, after us is different. So, and they don't necessarily, so after us is different for multiple different reasons, right? So one, we are right after the civil rights generation, I guess you could say, right? So like I said, my parents were the like first in the batches of integrating schools. So like when my mom went to school, she was like, you know, the first layer of people of Black folks to be in that school at like Southern high school, or like she could tell the story of being like, yeah, they bus us over to this side of town, and it was like, a few of us, you know what I mean? Like she could tell that story. So so us, we didn't have any of that experience in this generation if you're in your 40s right now. Now, depending on where you lived, maybe you had some remnants of it. Or you definitely went to schools that weren't majority Black. But I'm just saying that like you're at the point where we came along, things were already in place for us to have a set up sort of free life. So what I mean by that is if you are in your 40s, the pressure on you to like I said, to achieve, in my opinion, if you're black, looks different because you got to make up for what didn't happen and you got to make up for what didn't happen. So like
I,
the,
I hear you. I think it depends on the environment you come from because if you I don't think the same pressure exists for those whose parents or people may not you may not have gotten education or you may grew up in poverty or in your second, third, fourth generation poverty. You may be in rural areas. I do understand what you mean, the premise of like we have more rights than we're the first layer of people with not only like integrated schools, so many more rights, and we got the benefit of DEI and affirmative action at least for several decades before that was wiped out. But if anything, I think the pressure to achieve, while there's a layer there, I think because of the advent of social media. Oh man, here we go. This computer. I mean,
the
this
pressure to achieve was there way before social media.
no, but because I think it's the social pressure because of what you can see and what you can see. Like now that I can see more on through the internet, through social media, I'm more connected to examples of what achievement looks like or supposedly looks like. I think there's more internal and peer pressure, societal pressure, because it's in your face more often. Like people achieving were in silos. Like you only could see it in a magazine or on TV. Like you didn't. It wasn't as ubiquitous as now.
More than one thing could be true. You're talking about more like now that we are 45. Yeah, now that we are 45, but like over the course of life on the path to get to 45, I would say even if you were in the hood and you were seeing drug dealers and that was the people that you were looking at as being the people that had the money. Like I think the pressure to achieve did not just arrive. Now the heightened level of it in terms of like maybe the people who um you know had it at certain levels. Now you can see other people that got it in better levels than you, or now I think like more than one thing is true. I would say the like heightened level as of right this moment, yeah, totally. But over the course of life, this ain't the first time that people felt pressure to achieve. Nah. Like it's like no, not at all. Uh yeah, not at all. I think but yeah, right now I don't disagree that like yeah, being able to see people, being able to always see, not just see people, but always see people who are achieving higher than you no matter how high you are. No matter what you got, that somebody got more. You got one plane, somebody got two. Yeah, like it's like that is you got 1 billion, somebody got 10. Like, yeah, that is definitely impacting where we are right now. But when I'm speaking generationally, I'm not necessarily talking about like only at the level of us being an adult. I'm talking about like over the course of years and what has evolved to where we are now in terms of like, yes, societal pressures have evolved as well. So I would say that, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think both truths exist. But I think there is a leaning on uh there's a I don't want to put it. We that's when you start breaking into like the reliance on black women too. But yeah, just have to solve the issues. Maria, just to be clear, I have you at 10 today. So but you can hang out. You're welcome to hang out if you want to in the waiting room. But yeah, I'll get you up then. Um, all right. So there is the entertainment platform TV station. They put out this docu series called
Thought E got shut down. To be honest, I haven't seen E beats. E with the exclamation point.
mhm.
I haven't seen E be talked about in a while.
Yeah. So on Hulu, if you have Hulu, they put out this this docuseries called Dirty Rotten Scandals. Okay. If you have Hulu, search it. If you don't, just search it. Dirty Rotten Scandals. And it covers The Price is Right, Dr. Phil, and America's Next Top Model. Now, from what I heard and on the back end, is that the reason why America's Next Top Model put out that Netflix documentary is because they were getting ahead of this docuseries that they knew was about to come out.
That happens
Now,
a lot. That I'm starting to hear is happening a lot. Like the competing. Let's talk about the same exact topic because there's and it's such a like a magnesium burn. It fast flash.
yeah, because there was like 5 documentaries about the Fire Festival. You know what I mean? Like three, it was
Diddy had
3 at least, and I watched
there
every
was
one
like
of them.
literally 3 days after Diddy got arrested the first time documentary. I was like, damn, y'all had to have this like in the y'all
Right
had to have
away,
this in the
bro.
cut.
But
Y'all
this is
had
how
to have
you
it.
know, like people had their ear to the street,
They were
you
like,
know,
at some point this is gonna blow up, and we just
and people had their ear to the street, and all the production people that work on these things can be bought. I think not all. Let me not say all. I don't want to blanket everybody, but I think there's people on these sets that can be bought, or people. There's informants all over the place. You know what I mean? So I think.
I mean, 50 Cent bought that exclusive. Diddy should have paid. Diddy should have paid that.
Diddy should have paid that man, bro. Like, Diddy should have paid that man. You
First
know
of
what I'm
all,
saying?
the fact that Diddy was allowing somebody to record that is wild. But anyways, I don't want to turn
No,
this.
it's super wild to think that you just gonna be that. You're that
You that brazen.
right. So okay, so the Dr. Phil one. So I watched the Dr. Phil one. I watched America's Next Top Model one. The Dr. Phil joint was crazy. But let me be careful because Dr. Phil also, according to the way this documentary is laid out, is super powerful and will shut you down. Okay. So I'm just going to say
He
that
looked like the type that
he
would do
definitely
that.
looks like the type. I'm just going to speak to the docuseries. Okay. That let's I don't want no smoke. The docuseries breaks down, is talking about how they were bringing people on the show that needed treatment. They had deals with these treatment centers. And then they was getting money off of sending people to terrible treatment centers. Treatment centers where people were dying at the treatment center. Treatment centers where they were kicking people out on the street. And they was getting paid. And so the treatment center people had to Dr. Phil came up with this like VR platform. They had to buy the VR platform, and then they were doing this two-way thing where it was like, if you buy the VR platform, you could possibly get on the show. You can get your patients on the show. Then they had this is Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil.
That sounds diabolical.
When I tell you the level of craziness that this was, then they had reports of Dr. Phil bringing everybody into all his employees into the room, locking them in, telling them to lock the door. I got security at every door. That's kidnapping. This is the thing. Some of the stuff that they was getting away with today would never fly.
I think
It's crazy.
I think the Me Too movement, the social media, the camera phones, like even if they got away with it and didn't say anything, somebody secretly recording and then that joint drops later.
Record the audio. Everybody got phones on them. You know what I mean? Like, just hit the button right quick because you know something going down.
Say the name of the documentary again.
Dirty Rotten Scandals.
Dirty Rotten Scandals, not Dirty Rotten. You remember Dirty Rotten?
You think about the movie. Yeah, Dirty Rotten Scandals. Crazy. So they was doing stuff like that. Dr. Phil, after he let his license lapse, they're saying that's when it really got crazy. Because at that point, I think he just let go of all integrity, allegedly. Yeah, I was like, yo, this is wild. Then they had, then they did America's Next Top Model. Now, I'll admit, the one that they did on Netflix was way more entertaining than this one. However, this one went more in depth on the girls' stories that happened after.
behind the scenes. But
Yeah. This one had more girls in it. I feel like the one that was on Netflix is more Tyra. This
it was
this one
Tyra
this
and her co and like her hosts and stuff like that. I
it
saw
was
like
dope to hear from the host on the one on Netflix, but this one that's on E is really talking to the girls more, and that's what I wanted more out of the one on Netflix. Like Tyra Banks is looking like an egomaniac. Yeah, she's looking like she looking like Diddy level, like crazy. And here's the thing about it. I don't know the real answer to that. Like the way she actually does appear in interviews and stuff like that, it seems right. Like that's the thing. And I'm not, again, perception, reality, all that. I want to be mindful of that because I don't know her. But it seems like what they're saying seems right. I would say like the way they're talking about her and the way she appears on TV and all that, it seems right. But like I said, you look at it.
so maybe that's what we watch. I watched the Netflix one. I haven't watched this Hulu one. It's not that I didn't see it as Tyra thing. I'm also being cognizant of like time, place, and like setting of when and where and how this was happening in real time. Tyra, when American Top Model, at least how I remember it, being younger and looking at like Tyra, the Naomi Campbell's, like Tyra was the next Naomi Campbell in my mind. She was like on par with like who's the pinnacle of almost not just Black beauty, American beauty. It was like Halle Berry in movies, Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell was the OG and she still was fine, like in the zeitgeist. This is that 90s, early 2000s zeitgeist. Tyra and the vehicle that, because Tyra had been in some movies, obviously she'd been fashion. It was always talked about her forehead, but like she just like that was just a thing. The forehead,
it was a thing.
Like had she come out right now during social media, like she'd have meme culture would be crazy on the forehead. But it was actually like, even if you didn't like that or you did like it was like a, you had to have a stark feature, but still made you fine. So it was her stark feature that made her like she was still fine. So, but when America's Top Model came out, to me, it was meant to be a Tyra vehicle of like next level superstardom. And these girls just like were just added onto the pressure. And mind you, when this came out, Survivor had only been out for a couple of years. Like we had just gotten into the reality TV wave, and so it was early. We hadn't been saturated with it. We didn't know what it exactly was. There was new segment categories of the types of reality you can do. So it was a forging that path. So I could see it being about Tyra first, because I started to care about the girls, but you still like Tyra was the anchor.
And that's what they're talking about in this one. They're talking about basically this is the Tyra show to an extent. Like they were talking about how, like, if you notice the language after the first season, the language was all about Tyra. You didn't even hear model that much. You didn't hear America's Next Top Model until to that moment where she's like, America's Next Top Model is like that kind of thing, or who you're still in the running. She's like, that's the only time you started to hear that word. It's like the word modeling started to be used less and less. The thing I like about the Dirty Rotten Scandals one versus the Netflix one is that they had cultural commentators there that were really good at breaking down some of the things that they did on the show and like how it relates to like psychology a little bit, and just like being honest, where it's like, I feel like the one on Netflix was like the host and Tyra getting back, the host opportunity to say something back, but
because I feel like
they hadn't said anything. Yeah,
they hadn't said anything, and it's just like they hated how it ended. And
yeah, so it wasn't like that on this one. This one had cultural critics on it, that I appreciated, because they were given a as objective as they could kind of response to things. So it was really dope. So it was good to watch that one. But yeah, I'm like, where is the one on Mona Scott? Where did somebody go do the expose on Mona Scott? Where's that one at?
that's gonna take, because Mona still got her her vice grip on in her finger in too many different pies. So if there's one buzzing,
Somebody
if
gotta be
there's
one
one
of them on the
buzzing,
sky.
the one buzzing, she get a sniff of that. She definitely, too many people still making money. You know what it is? If they still making money with you, they're not gonna expose you, i.e. the Diddy's of the world, the Harvey Weinsteins.
It was a
Like,
lot of people still making money with Diddy though. I don't think it was
no, they
people
wasn't.
that.
No, they wasn't.
What you
No, they weren't.
mean?
No, who wasn't? First of all, I hope you've dug into this rabbit hole of the internet. Once Diddy decided to go after Diageo, that's when everything kicked off. Diageo was his biggest partner financially, by far.
Okay, but also let's alleged conspiracy theory that, because that's what people are saying. That's what people are saying. Yes, that's out there. Yes, that is in the corners of the internet.
So,
I think, to be honest, this is a long time coming. Yes, that, like, because I don't like to, I don't like to, let me say this. I'm not saying that these things aren't real, but like with the whole like with Bill Cosby, right? People was all like, "Oh yeah, well, because he tried to do this and that's why they came after him, black man." Like, whatever. You was out here raping people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care what it took for you to be discovered, uncovered. Like, I honestly don't care about that level of conspiracy theory, because it feeds into what? Don't F with the establishment, possibly. I mean, because there's multiple stories like that. Kanye West trying to break into fashion, and then when he pissed off this person, like, I think there's a war where, like, if you piss off a person, that they will let go of their protection over you. Absolutely. If you piss off a person, they will be like, well, look, hey, well, you on your own now. I think absolutely. And do I think that, like, when they say you on your own now, do the people that have been coming after you decide, like, well, we gonna come after you? I think so. Do I think people tear each other down? Do I think there's a shadow government? Yes, I do. But I want to be careful about that on my own platforms and airwaves. Just because I think that, depending on what we talk about, and the shadow government part is a whole nother conversation for a different day. But what we have the power over to do, and what happens to these folks in power's playing a power game. Can we understand it? Yes and no. Is levels to the shit. So I'll just say, I hear you. That's what everybody was saying. He pissed off Diageo, and then that was his downfall. I think things was coming before that, but we just didn't know it. And I think it all had this serendipitous timing.
yes, it did. But I'm not saying one definitely was the other. And, like, all things that are done in the dark come to the light, and all the things you say there. But back to the original reason why I say I brought up the Diageo is that less people were getting money. Revolt was already in a bad place, had been in a bad place. It was just kind of existing, but it wasn't growing. Diageo, once he stopped getting money with them after going at them and suing them, he's not
But you
getting
don't
money.
think that
It
you
wasn't.
think Revolt wasn't growing? You said
No, I
Revolt wasn't
know.
growing?
That's like a fact.
You said it
Was
wasn't growing? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking.
no, it was not growing. Revolt, even they just signed a deal. The new Revolt just signed a deal with Kenya Barris, announced a deal
Yeah, I
with
think I saw that.
Barris. My understanding of Revolt, and the way I know about Revolt, having also known plenty of staffers.
Don, I see you in the chat.
I knew a lot of staffers and executives that were there in the 2 and 3.0 version and the 1.0 version of Revolt each time. Revolt benefited from being a cable company and being in that Comcast deal, so it was a bundled package. So they basically had a tranche of tens of millions of dollars that was guaranteed to them every year, but they didn't grow their audience. And I know this from buying ads and doing media sponsorships on the back end, when you're asking for, like, data on your customers and your reach of your shows and things of that nature. And you can see by their programming, they weren't creating original shows, original stars. They just kept re-licensing stuff. They did short runs with, like, Joe Budden, some shows they tried to get popping, but they all canceled because of lack of viewership and things of that nature. But that's why they just re-licensed a lot of of existing podcasts and stuff that was already hot, but they had trouble in building new stuff. And they were the most money. That's why online their reach online, they have numbers, but they didn't have super numbers online as much as they still had it. They just when you have a cable channel that's built into Comcast's bundle, you're guaranteed a certain amount of subs. But anywho, you were like,
Okay.
you ain't even listening. It's Saturday. It's Saturday.
Saturday is a Saturday. Yay,
Oh, I was
yay,
doing the
yay.
Ludacris one. I was doing the
Oh,
Ludacris.
true. Okay, you're right.
What are your
What's the
Saturdays
second
like
one?
as an entrepreneur? How do you mentally and
Well, I mean,
spiritually
they're
feel
different.
waking up Saturday and Sundays compared
My
to other
Saturday,
weekday work days? I'm curious.
yeah, they look a little different because it depends. It's like it depends on what I got to do. Like today, my daughter wants to comb her locks out. So we're spending the entire day doing that. It takes like 15 minutes to comb out one lock. So we will be spending the entire weekend combing locks out. And so that's what I only plan for this weekend. But a lot of times out here I might be getting up with a friend to do something. We might go do whatever we needed to do that we didn't do during the week, stuff like that. But I want to bring up my first guest. I mean, you're an entrepreneur too, so I don't know what happens on your days. But I want to bring up our first guest today. Coming to the stage. Everybody show a lot of love for Dawn Myers. Hello.
Hey, hi guys. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Are you in the bathroom?
I am in the bathroom.
Are you giving us a demo? What are we doing?
In a
I was
row?
about to mint my hair this morning, and I was like, if we're being authentic, this is what it looks like. I got calls for the rest of the day. This is what it looks like. So,
You
welcome
doing this?
to my
Okay.
Saturday morning. So, for context, I'm sorry. The screen is small for me. Cameron? Hi, Cameron. We haven't met before. Hi.
And
So-
I don't know why y'all haven't. I was literally just saying like y'all should have met before.
Did you go to
Yes.
Harvard?
Both of y'all
Did
you
you go to
worked on
Harvard?
didn't you work on the Obama campaign too?
I did.
I was way junior on Obama. I was a senior Biden guy for Biden Harris. But
okay.
Obama is when I broke in. So I was in a small corner in a small state.
Child, I was up in Milwaukee, knocking doors. You know how it goes. But the reason that I'm in the bathroom with my hair up is because I run a hair care company. We have this technology that women with textured hair use. So I figured, it's all on theme.
I'm here for it. Wait, but wait, because what I said before you came on is like, what if she'll give us a demo? So it's perfect.
It is perfect.
Yeah, I'm so glad you look at that. Great minds. I was like, is she going to give us a demo?
Yeah, I can do that. So while you
Okay,
guys
wait, hold on. Let me do all the things. So I can make sure you is it just Ritualist?
Ritualist.
On Instagram? What's your Instagram?
Get Ritualist.
Get Ritualist. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I'm actually gonna make you bigger on the screen so you can do it, so you can show everybody.
Right.
Somebody said good morning, Don. Good Don. Say good morning to the people.
Good morning.
Shoot. Speaking of what entrepreneurs do with their weekend, you got calls today?
Yeah, I'm teaching in 10 minutes.
Oh Lord.
And then I've got podcasts for the rest of the day. So this is what it is. Get up in the morning, do your hair, so your hair is fresh for the interviews, and then do the things,
You and you're teaching at Georgetown, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I am teaching at Georgetown. This is actually for HBCUFI, HBCU Founders Institute. So teaching all over the place, yeah.
I love that. All right, so we're gonna let Dawn. I'm gonna pull us off stage so you could be bigger, so you can show us how the mint works.
Stay on stage. We can do this in this little square. Y'all don't need to put so much in my face.
No, but we gotta make it so people can really see it though.
Okay.
Okay, so we gotta come on now. All right, so we gotta make it so people can really see it. Okay, let's see. Let me see. We'll come back and ask you questions though.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we need a full like intro. This is a commercial.
The whole lot. Okay.
There
it's
we
a
go.
whole
You
lot.
ready? You
All
got
right,
it. You got
all
it.
All right, y'all. So I, a few years ago, was, struggling with my textured hair, cut all my hair off. I'm doing the whole corporate baddie thing. And I was just having a really difficult time having to wash my hair, go through the whole process every day. And so, well, not every day, but y'all know what I mean. It was too much. So I developed this tool. We call it a thermal infuser, which warms up your products using these pods, and then you're able to detangle and apply your products faster. Everybody's time savings differs, but for me, I get my styling time down from about an hour to about 7 minutes. So it's a massive, massive time savings for me. So here's my pod filled with products from our partners over at Sienna Natural. Shout out to Issa and Hannah. And basically, you just take this pod, you plug it into the back of your tool. All right, I gotta click. Then you press the heat button. So you can see here, the heat button is pressed. It only takes maybe, a few minutes, a minute and a half, 2 minutes to heat up. And then you press your load button. You can hear it loading up. And then you're able to dispense warm product onto your hair. And what that warmed product does is it basically lowers the amount of friction necessary to detangle and makes it just easier for you to get your products to penetrate. So once you have it ready to go, you can literally just start applying your products. And it makes the process super easy. So, Omi, you guys are gonna need this when you do your lock takedown. We have a lot of people who use this for braid takedown, and it makes it a lot easier. I don't think anybody's used it for lock takedown, but I bet. My guess is that it will make the process a lot easier. And what we're doing here is just addressing all of the pain points that come along with textured hairstyling. The portability aspect, you can pack this in your bag. It's TSA approved, so you can travel with it. It comes with, if you get the ultimate set, it comes with travel chargers. So you can go anywhere in the world and your hair is taken care of. We also cater to low porosity, highly textured hair. So if you have type 4 hair, that's really difficult to get product to penetrate, this is designed to help your product penetrate so that your wash days are faster and easier.
Yay! Thank you.
And this is the big news.
What's the big news?
Wait,
we need to get off stage for the big news. What's the big?
I can't hear you. Well, I'll tell you. We are going live on Ulta.com.
Congratulations. Can you hear me now?
Yes. I can now. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the launch date?
Now I can't hear you.
Ulta.com.
Oh, Lord.
That's dope. Are you going to be?
Can you hear me, Cameron?
Yes, I can hear you. Does it go from, I think it's hers. Does it go?
Can you hear Cameron?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear Cameron?
Let me see if I can read lips. Say it real slow.
You know what? You might have to go out and come back.
Us.
Yeah, this is what happens. It's not you. It's a StreamYard thing. She had to go out and come back. I'm going to text her. Go out and come back. Yeah.
Go out.
Come back. There you go. So yeah. The
Ulta.com, that's huge. That's a huge distribution platform.
Let me see. I'm gonna kick her out and she has to come back. No, 1,000%. Shout out to the folks over at Ulta, great folks. And not only that, it also is a platform where it's hard to get into. Like they don't play. Ulta really be like We know our audience. We know what our audience will buy. We ain't bringing nobody in that we don't think our audience will buy. So it is a huge, when you get into, I think Sephora's maybe a little bit more kind.
Mhm.
But Ulta really is like, nah, if we letting y'all in, you got to be right. So
Oh,
it's
they're
dope.
tough. They're
Yeah, they
tough.
are
I mean, I
tough.
have my butt handed to me by several people over the course of this process. Lovingly, of course, but yeah, they are no game.
That's awesome. What's the drop date?
I actually don't know. It's going to be early April. I can't tell you an exact date. Just go on ritualist.com, sign up for the email list, and you will be amongst the first to know.
Awesome. How you feel about it?
I feel really, honestly, you work so hard for this stuff, so it's not even like, oh, I get to celebrate. It's almost just like relief. I get to breathe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just crazy to me because I mean, Omi, you've been here the entire time. You've been here while people told me literally you can't do this and you're gonna fail. And over the course of this process of just there's so much intellectual property that Black women have stored up in their head that people are telling them you're not going to be able to do it, you don't know how to do it, you're not good enough to do it, that people aren't funding, that never gets to market. And there's a real, I mean, now we talked about this, I'm raising a huge round of money valued at more money than I can even let out of my mouth right now. And there's a massive wealth creation opportunity that's just slipping between our fingers. We have the intellect, we have the genius, we have the innovation, but we don't have systems that let us in. And I got to be honest, you asked me how I feel. I'm furious. I'm furious that it has taken this long and that I've had to fight this hard. I'm furious at all the Black women who are in my inbox. I'm small potatoes in my inbox, like, hey, can you show me how to do this? Because there's nobody letting us in. There's no way to break into the space. Anyway,
But I want to tap on something you said real quick. There's nobody letting us in, but there's also nobody letting us out. So I want to say
That's
this
right.
is a part of a part of the system that we don't talk about, right? So there's nobody letting us in, and you got to go one at a time. And then there's the nowhere to go once you get in. So there's nobody buying you out. There's not a lot of IPO opportunities or for you to get there, or even thinking you can get there, or I think that is a part of what we're seeing around a lot of companies that are like filing Chapter 11 and that kind of thing. Like there's really, once you're in and you're growing and growing and growing, like at that point, where are you going? Like is it because
There's
either
nowhere to exit.
there's nowhere to go on the other end either, and that is the part that I think is so hidden. I think we have a lot of conversation about like getting in, and a lot of conversation about not raising or being able to raise or that kind of thing, or who's going to give it to you, how it's going to work. But that after that, where do you go?
Yes.
That's not I don't hear that conversation as much. It's like, where are you gonna go
Yeah.
next? Yeah.
So when we talk, and you and I over the years have talked a lot about our next steps and what our next steps are, that's my next step. Where do we go? And orchestrating, vehicles for us to exit to, because it's out of control. We control culture, and we're not able to benefit off of any of it. It's absurd and obscene.
We need the systems.
That's right.
Because it's even with the IP, even with the protections, maybe you even got a little bit of capital, but to be able to inject yourself into a system, be properly positioned in as, I think while the direct to consumer, we're sold the idea that you can go direct to consumer in social media, and it's like they show you the talented, not even the 10th, though, the talented 1% of the 1% that like breaks. But it's like, yeah, I'm gonna throw you in a sea. Yeah, it's up to you. You can market, you can access to the world. People don't realize how many billions of people are online that are also doing the same thing or doing anything in the true level of noise and breakthrough, all on rented space. It's like rented land. Like we don't own Instagram, we don't own cable networks, we don't own any of the distribution channels of scale. So even we do all the right things, in addition to when you're talking about retail, we don't own these retail distribution channels, not just the manufacturing to the marketing. So they say you can market to your customers, and I think that's like almost a false sense of security to like, it's like winning the fucking lottery.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and then I got to run, my first brand, and Omi, this might even have predated us. My first brand was with this Korean. You can hear me? Oh, was with this Korean guy whose uncle owned this chain of beauty stores, right? So he was just kind of given this whole empire, right? And he wanted me to start a brand with him. Only he didn't have any, so he's in the hood. He's in every hood in the DMV. And every one of those stores that I walked into, there are no Black people behind the counters. He's super disrespectful about the customers that come into his store. For whatever reason, he looks at me and thinks I'm an acceptable Black and I'm gonna feel the same way that he does. No, you can't treat my people like this and then expect to benefit from my IP. We ain't doing that. So I walked away from that deal and shortly thereafter started my own brand. They don't respect us. And they're making a whole lot of money and building whole empires off of our money. Don't care about our problems, don't care about the ingredients of the products that are going into our head and causing us cancer. I could go on. But the larger point is we need to be a part of the infrastructure.
Yeah, I think the idea like we control culture is questionable or arguable. I think we influence it. I don't think we have enough control over it.
That's real.
But I know you got to go. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you for joining us.
Good luck to you. I'm excited to see you when you drop on Ulta. Make sure y'all go and follow, go and get on the email list, all those things. All right. All right. Bye.
So
Shout
that's
out to Don.
the thing I like to. That seems like that should be something that would work well.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think we are what I think is super viable about the Mint, and that's the name of the actual product. The company is called Ritualist, but I think what's super valuable is the partnership opportunities, right? I think a lot of things that we get, have an opportunity to work with all the different products that you use, I think is really key in like being able to have one thing that can work with all these different products. Like you have a plugin that can work with all the different plugins that exist at different cost levels. You're probably more likely to buy that plugin thing. Like, or if you have the Keurig, but then they eventually started you have different coffee flavors, and you're like, yeah, I'm more apt to keep this thing less mess, real quick pod. Like, essentially, is what she's working on. So, like, I love that. Yeah, and I've been knowing Dawn for a while. She also used to rock with me at BGV for a little bit as she was starting up. So shout out to Dawn. All right, our second guest for today is
back.
Maria. Huh?
That's it. She's back, ain't it?
Maria and Akima. Shout out to Maria. She is one of our on the show. Everyone's been listening and watching the show every day. We appreciate her. Also, she built out his first frame of the app for me, which is now called the Breathing Bell, which I now have available on my website, but I'm also building it in real time. So I need to actually push the updates that I did today. Matter of fact, I'll do that while we're talking. But I want to bring to today so they can tell us a little bit more about what they're working on. Maria and Akima, good morning. Hello. How y'all doing? Well, morning for me.
Y'all both in Illy, Philly?
No,
Houston.
no.
They were
I'm
never in
Houston.
Philly. Where you made that?
I don't know why I said
No, I'm in Houston. What you asked me before, what ward I live in?
I'm sorry. Just, I didn't get a lot of sleep.
My aunt said.
We talked to
you
somebody
need
else that
update him.
was in Philly. My bad. Hi, Akima. Hi, Maria.
Hi, how are you? And actually, I'm in Los Angeles. I was born and raised in LA, and I'm here on a contract.
Nice.
I'm gonna change out.
What? Don't try to perpetrate. Let me see. I'll let you know if you can keep the hat by the end.
What's up, ladies?
Hello.
How y'all feeling?
Doing good. Tired.
How did y'all come together? Houston, LA.
I actually live in Houston now, but I'm out here on a contract. Yeah, I've been out in Houston for 30 years.
Okay.
She's my best friend. She had to keep me. She didn't have
How
any
did y'all
options.
meet?
Church.
Thank you.
We did.
Look at the Lord. Look at God.
It's been
Right.
like 11 years now.
Won't he do it?
So look at God, what he doing. Yeah,
like
it was a
11,
very-
like 11 years.
Oh,
So talk
nice.
to us. Talk to us about envisionvirtualedge.org.
So we started as I told you all before, we started it with WellFit Community Daily, building a app for it, and then it kind of morphed into what Akima affectionately calls the Beast, because we have it's 3 products in one. So you have the community product that you can purchase solo. You have the clinical end, which is the EMR, the accountable technology, leading in unified service, our Atlas. And then you can purchase the 2 of them together, where you have your community end feeding into your clinical end. That's the part of healthcare I believe that we miss out on, are the things that go on in the community, where seniors or disabled people, or even young people with chronic illnesses, you don't get to see what people are doing in their life. And then when you give them medication or a diagnosis or whatever, it's based off of just you seeing them on the one off or the every now and then. And so we built a system that feeds into both. That way you can we call it community healthcare, kind of like. So, and Akima is the registered nurse, so she can tell you way more than I can on that end.
So basically, there's a gap in healthcare. There's a gap in healthcare between what we do in our personal and private lives. Because Mama is going to eat the oxtail. She's gonna eat the cornbread. She's gonna eat all this good stuff, but she's not gonna tell her doctor, right? But we know that ultimately, what affects Mama is what she does in her home, correct? And so what we did was not to necessarily change Mama's, because what's important about the oxtails, the cornbread, and everything that goes along with it is that she was with her family, is that she played dominoes all night, is that she laughed all night. And so we don't understand, a lot of people in healthcare not understanding that those things bridge the gap, if you will, on healthcare and healthcare advocacy. Mama is not just sitting in the house not doing anything. Mama actually ate a whole meal. She was with her family. She was, taking care of herself. So anyway, the product that we have, and the idea and the concept that we have, is to bridge our community lives with our healthcare lives so that we can live a whole life, right? And so how do we gain insight into the world? How do we gain insight into their private life? We got to put a system in their hands, something that's fun, not anything that's dragging. And so we've created games, if you will, inside the app. We've created opportunity for them to communicate either within the community within their app, and the community just like a social media pub, if you will, but it's their own. So if they live in Roscoe's High Tower for Seniors, everybody in Roscoe's High Tower for Seniors can come inside of this community and then chat with each other. Hey, we got Domino's. Hey, we got pizza tonight. Hey, we got Pokemon tonight. Whatever, not Pokemon, Pokemon. But you understand what I'm saying? They're kind of working with each other. And so we put all this information into one system that feeds into the next system, that feeds into the electronic medical records that hospitals use and doctors' offices use, so that we can take care of Mama on her own terms.
Okay. So what I'm trying to understand now is, like, is this Envision Virtual Egg, is it an app, or is it a community? Is it
Okay.
what is it?
So
exactly?
Envision is the company. Envision Virtual Edge is the company.
Okay.
WellFit Community Daily is an app, and Envision Atlas is the clinical EMR system. Accountable to, I call it the Intelligent Healthcare Interoperability System. So it feeds directly into whatever system you have. It'll connect via API to the system you have, because we have FHIR built in. So it's the interoperability system that is mandated across healthcare everywhere. With the Cures Act, they made it mandated that any interoperability system, any EMR system, has to allow you to plug in to any other system, also allow you to be able to download your own information, for you to be able to get your information. So so we have built a My Health Hub in it as well. So it takes the integration of your smartwatches, your integration of your blood pressure cuffs, your scales,
Pulse
all of that.
oximeters, all that good stuff. Your remote patient monitoring devices.
Right.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so
So you log in and you can be able to see like your smartwatch plus whatever you got from the doctor.
So yeah, actually, yes. So you can see your smartwatch in the same My Health Hub. You'll see where your smartwatch is. If you have it connected, you'll see your metrics there. But you can also then click on and you'll see your care plan that the doctor has put in for you. You can see your labs. You can see your last vaccinations. You can see your if you message the nurse, you can see that information. And there's a download button where you have the right to download your own information if you so desire to.
So what's the difference between that and like My Chart or like Cedar Sinai also has an app?
So
So what's
the
just tell
difference
me.
is the difference really is that we're working on rural America. And so that's the only difference.
Oh yeah, I think you were saying about like the
yes, because that's the
Kansas
same.
hospitals.
The person you told me I didn't have to mention, that's who that My Chart belonged to.
Who? I don't know. I don't remember.
Epic.
Who?
Epic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that,
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
But
So
in terms of like, go ahead. Okay.
I was going to say the affordability of it, right? So we're talking about rural places, and actually we're talking about places just as have disparities. So they don't necessarily, they could be inside of, we'll say Houston, for example, and still have a huge healthcare disparity. And so it's for those doctors' offices, those practices that don't necessarily have the bandwidth, if you will, to carry such a larger electronic medical record, and for rural parts of the world, not just America per se, but just rural parts of the world where they are able to track their patients both inside of the health practice and outside the health practice. And so just to bridge those gaps and be available and say, hey, we're here, we have made that absolutely possible.
And are you building also where they can bridge into other apps, or you could share your because so one of the things that's been super helpful for me. So in Virginia they have My Chart. So if you're in the Inova system, you can use it. But then I would go to like a private not they weren't private. I mean it's private, public doesn't matter. But I would go to a practice where like they didn't plug into My Chart, and that was annoying. Because by the time if I go to another doctor and like all of them got the same information, but like you don't, or like I can't get, my information from you into My Chart. Now here in LA though, it's different because their apps actually talk. So like the Cedar Sinai app and the My Chart app for UCLA can talk to each other. So the doctors can see I have care set up for Cedar Sinai and care set up for UCLA. So they can actually see that I had a mammogram with Cedar Sinai and I had blood work with UCLA. So my doctor can go and see both. Because the people that y'all are talking about likely have multiple people caring for them.
Absolutely.
So like with what you're building, how does that share? And I think there's also like a share version you could do with like family. But like, what are you thinking about on that side?
So let me catch this one. UCLA and Cedar Sinai are big billion-dollar companies. They both have Epic. And so because they both have that platform, those platforms talk easily to each other. Where it comes around in Virginia and sometimes in Houston as well is you have my private practice doctor who's not in, one of the big systems, and she doesn't, that one big system doesn't allow the little people to talk to them. They're real arrogant. They do not allow, those smaller. Cameron, are you talking? You're muted.
My bad. So when I hear this, because healthcare being literally one of the largest industries, definitely in the U.S. and consistently growing, unfortunately, on the backs of so many of us by overcharging us. But that's neither here nor there. The point, if trying to consistently come up with efficiencies in that system is a smart business play. But it feels like so many people have, as you're talking about these large systems and then these small systems, are you maybe finding a place to where your app can be the connection across every system? Can you do
So
that?
that,
'Cause that to me seems like the hugest enterprise opportunity there.
so that is the whole goal of it. That's why it's called interoperable. It is the federal government under Joe Biden mandated that every healthcare system is supposed to be on FHIR 4, which allows the systems to talk to each other. Now, we do know that some of the largest systems build in friction intentionally for you not to be able to. Now, one of the things that I did build in our system is a smart mapping system where it maps the fingerprint of the next place so that it can more easily and learn how to connect to the next one. So this one may be a little more difficult. It might take it more time to connect, but the next system learns from how to connect to this one and how to connect to the next one, because it is mandated that we should be able to connect to it.
But everyone doesn't want anyone to steal their idea or steal their technology. And so, like she said, it's like it's built-in friction. So they'll say, oh yeah, Mr. Government, yeah, I can connect to such and such system. See here it is. But I've worked in this industry for at least the back in the industry for like 16 years. And as much as we want those two to connect, there's always this. And when I used to teach the systems, I'd say, the water's supposed to come out of this sink, but it's coming out of there over the couch, y'all. So we always have to create these workarounds because it never really, connects seamlessly.
And so one of the things that this is how I ended up building it was AI assisted, because as you all know, I wasn't a coder by nature. And so at first it was this big thing about not being able to have it. Is it HIPAA compliant? Is it SOC 2? All of those things. So I built the foundation of it that way from the beginning. The platform was built on security and safety and making sure that everything was locked down. And then the other stuff, building the rest of it up was a lot easier once the foundation was secure and compliant.
Mm-hmm. I think also what grabs our system from other systems is there's a thing called social determinants of health. That's huge. That's really, really big. What we've known, what we have known for a long time is what happens in private, in your community, and how you grow up and what you eat and how you play and how you interact with either church or synagogue or the Domino's table or bingo. All of those things affect how your health will be either greater or lesser than what it's anticipated to be. And so the uniqueness is it does drive all of that into the same system. And like you said, it connects too. And so, and I'm with you, Ami. I've been at my doctor. I'm like, look, here's my results from, this place. And they trying to read and we trying to move all around and make it larger so you can see. And so our idea is not to dominate it to where, this is us envision virtual aid. This is us. No, but let me be transparent. Let me open this up for everyone so that the ultimate goal is for Mama, and we'll put her back on the table to live her longest and best life.
And to your point, Ami, you asked about like the caregiver aspect. And so there is intentionally a caregiver option on our for you to log in. So the senior or the child or whoever creates a PIN, and you as the caregiver would have that PIN. Now you can't write in their stuff. But
yeah. It's the same with the other apps.
Yeah, it will be read only. So you can log in and see if Momo been taking her Medicaid. You've been taking your your blood pressure, have you been taking this medicine? Because it seemed like it's up, or what you eating, things like that. Also, we learned through this process that for seniors, it is like smoking, their isolation is like them smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So it dramatically decreases their health and their life expectancy when they're isolated. So that was one of the reasons that we wanted to help create community around it as well. So,
Where do y'all want to go with this? Like, so what's your, is it to like, are you building this and then to go like raise money? Do you want like what, and then to build it bigger? Is it like, what is the, do you already have hospitals that you're onboarding? Do you already have hospitals that you're going after? Do you have like a customer pipeline? Where do you want to go with it?
so I have a couple of people that we are we're talking to now. In fact, just yesterday, day before yesterday, we had a call with John Hopkins. We have another hospital in Virginia, Mercy Health.
Somebody outside or in cars nearby, or something like that.
It's a big window. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
And that was a big car.
So we do have some people that we are talking to right now. Really, what I want, or what we're doing, I am shopping with a couple of HBCUs to do the testing on my app. I want them to test it to break it, so we can find out what's working and what's not, so that we can so that it can be repaired and be prepared for scale. So we were considering doing a couple of other things, but I think that that's our first move. If we get it tested and show, because if we get it tested, I'll leave it right there.
Okay. What do y'all want so your customers are mainly hospitals
and
right?
And doctors' offices,
and actually community organizations also who want to keep up with the population that they service. There's one project that we use. I don't know how many's in there. It's like 1,100 families in this one community project working, and they have an obligation to, with the grants that they receive and with the community representatives that they serve, that watch over that community. They have an opportunity or obligation, if you will, to keep up with the health and well-being of that community also. So community centers, community groups, private practice physicians, hospitals in rural world, if you will, are our market.
Okay, good. I love it. So what should people do? People watching, listening, tuning in, what should they do?
Now, call to action, right? Yeah, that's I guess that's the place. Well, number one, you can go on our website and see a demo. So you can go there and look at the demo, and if you're interested, or you're someone who is in that industry, or you're interested, you can send us an email, and we'll get back with you, and we can discuss things further. So there are like 4 or 5 demos that are live on our interactive demos that are live on our website. And so, yeah.
envisionvirtualedge.org for people to go look at the demos.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Akeem, what were you about to say?
I'm just smiling.
I'm just smiling.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes.
I love your hair, Akima. Is that too like?
Thank you.
I don't know. It's the right amount of like the silver black combination.
Thank you. My mother gave it to me. It started when I was 20. No, thank you for that very much, though. You yeah, I appreciate you.
What I would say go ahead.
Go ahead.
Maria. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the one thing that I am extremely excited about is proof of concept, that what we have built is proof that the concept that I've been able to create works. Ooh.
Oh, you know what they say when a picture fell out the wall. It's
Well, a
not
good thing it wasn't a
great.
picture. A good thing it wasn't a picture, right?
Oh,
Um,
good. Okay, good. Thank you.
yeah.
That's real.
What they say?
Well,
Somebody in the house, a ghost?
no. Well,
Oh,
maybe.
It's possible.
It has nothing
It's
to do with the
possible.
business, though. It has nothing to do with the business.
Mm.
But for growing up, superstitions when a picture fell out the wall, that means somebody gonna die.
That is, you're
oh,
absolutely,
really?
yeah, she's absolutely correct. That's why I said it wasn't a picture. That's why I heard
Real
it. I was like, oh,
fast.
this it wasn't a picture.
Real fast.
I'm from Louisiana, so you're absolutely correct, Ami. That is a kind of known saying or belief. So, but the proof of concept that this methodology that we were able to develop around governance and around how to make sure AI codes responsibly, what I have built is that proof of concept. And so my governance documents that are attached to it is just as valuable as what we've built, because it says that I can build a secure healthcare system, financial system, whatever, because and for the record, as we move forward, healthcare is just our first vertical. Because once you create a secure healthcare system, you can stack anything on top of that system because it's secure, because as we know, healthcare is the standard. So that's what I want to say. I enjoy that I have proof of concept, that getting this done was like, wow, that the method that I developed over these 10 months actually works.
What and you're saying it actually works because you incorporate it into
Well,
like a so from a business perspective, or you just saying like the concept works because you created and deployed it and you know it
well,
works. Like when you say you know it works, what are we talking about?
so because I've built a couple of other systems that people have utilized, and it has been successful. Like there's no bleed over. The row level security works. The security from the because they originally believed that AI building it meant it would not be secure, and so we've had a couple of
Y'all
things.
got to figure out. Let me tell you what y'all got to figure out. A
Okay.
couple things. Y'all got to figure out how. All out of love, I'm gonna give you this feedback. One thing you got to figure out is how to talk about your expertise and how to big yourself up and how that is related to stats, related to companies you work with, related to not necessarily things you produce in the deep levels of what you produce, but just like, if I am a janitor, then I'm a sanitation worker that has covered 20,000 square feet of cleanliness in 2 hours. You know
I
what I
get you.
mean? Like
Yeah.
you got to really get streamlined about how you're talking about what you're doing. Another thing is I think that like depending on where your audience is, and that y'all are just talking to us, but depending on where your audience or who you're talking to, it's not really as relevant as you think for everybody to know everything. They just need to know the one thing, the thing you want them to do, the thing you're trying to make money off of in the moment. So if it
Okay.
is like, like concentrate what you have, because that's going to increase the level of trust that you have for what you're trying to build, and that's going to get you more customers. So how you prove out your expertise a lot of times is by associations in certain ways of things you have accomplished, right? I don't know if I heard what your actual backgrounds are deeply in what we've been talking about. I think I heard y'all talking about what you're building and what you know and what needs to happen in the world, but I don't know if I don't even know if I heard Akima say that she's a nurse. I don't even know if I heard you, like, I don't know if I
Okay.
heard that
Fair
anywhere. So
point.
like, so like you gotta really, I think what founders do a lot of the time that sometimes is a misstep is they spend so much time convincing people that what they're thinking of works. But what works in terms of like somebody who's investing or partnership or bring you into to pay into is trust is what works. There's plenty of terrible ideas that exist.
You're right.
The juice box is one of them. It does not work. Like if you put a straw in the juice box, you almost 8 times out of 10 guaranteed to get hit with some juice. Nobody's figured that out. The different ways they try to make the juice box look and form it and all that, it's still a terrible invention. There's so many not so great inventions that we're using every day. But there's things that outweigh that, and that is saving time, saving money, trusting it is gonna always exist, trusting it is gonna be there. I think you got a dope angle when it comes to like private offices and smaller hospitals and rural areas and remote areas outside of the country. I think there's something great there. I would love to hear like, well, why does this matter to you? It matters to you because we all got family that we care about, but like something else that you've seen that makes it matter to you different than it just matters to me is what I wanted to hear too.
Okay. So for me, rural America, I grew up in rural Louisiana. My father still lives in rural Louisiana. And my grandmother and grandfather had 19 children. And about 14 of them still live and are still alive. And the bulk of them still live in rural America. And the healthcare there is not, in my opinion, adequate or coming up to the level that, well, I live in Houston, and I know that's kind of difficult because I'm with the greatest medical center probably in the United States, if not in the world. And I don't
know about that. Arguable.
Oh, we're number two. Okay,
she
said we number two, right? So, but with that, we have so much access here. And so when my father was going to get a shot, he had to go get his vitamin D shot at the hospital. And I was like, he going to the hospital to get a vitamin D?
But wait, I love what you're saying. And I don't know where that fits in with what you're still, I still don't know.
Well,
That's great.
Why I care about rural American healthcare being improved. That's the
But your app doesn't necessarily improve healthcare.
Yeah, it does.
Not in the way that you just talked about it. So you got more than one thing happening. Your governance system does improve. It directly affects the system. The getting access part to each other's healthcare doesn't give me other access to other doctors if there's no doctors there that are great.
But what it does
you know
what it does do. So what it does do to answer that is there are certain metrics that are built in to help with risk assessment. We do risk assessments. We have things inside of it that help reduce the amount of healthcare workers that they need in order to be able to provide better care. So there's one thing in there called the Compass Riley, where the physician doesn't have to do all of his soap notes. They don't have to do all of their dictation and all of that. That's done for us. So he has an opportunity to see more patients because he's not bogged down with doing so much more of the clinical work. I mean, of the manual clinical writing out of everything. And so all of that increases healthcare because it allows physicians, nurses, admins, all of them to do their job more efficiently, which then in turn gives us better healthcare. Now, that does not give you a better doctor, but Compass Riley does give help and guidance to the doctor. There is it's a tree of thought is what it's called. So if you come in with a complex case and the physician is listening to it, and Compass Riley is listening to it, it gives the physician also maybe something that it missed, or maybe have you considered X, Y, and Z, because there's a tree of thought that comes in and then it helps out. So it helps to increase, it does do that inside of there also. But
to your point, we can't, there's nothing I don't think that we could do to create a better connection like you were talking about, right?
But wait,
yeah.
I want to be clear.
Okay.
Let me be clear about something.
Okay.
What I'm talking to y'all about right now has nothing to do with what you're actually doing. It has everything to do with what you're saying. So like you could be changing the world with what you're doing, but the way y'all are talking about it is where
we need to
what
sum
I'm
it up
coaching
and
you
bring
through.
it together.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the way you talked about it, I honestly could not walk away from this call and then be like, I need it. You know what I mean? I don't know that yet. I don't know that yet. It's what you're doing. I feel like, and again, for everybody watching, this is where we go, where there's certain missteps, I think, in what we've been taught that we gotta say versus like what actually needs to be said. Because we always, and I'm saying we as Black women first, and then I would say like we as Black people in general, there is a deep explanation that we think brings trust. If I tell you, like, if I could show you, look, no, this really does. Cause let me show you how. Cause
Okay.
if you put, and it's like, that's actually not the thing that actually makes people use the thing all the time.
That's good.
Like
That's valuable.
features. There's features there, and once I trust you, then I'm willing to use those features. But like the trust piece. So even in your conversation about this, it's streamlining from your why to the solution that you created, right? I'm a zoom it out. Doors need doorknobs. Okay, 80,000 doors cannot be opened because the doorknob that currently exists doesn't work, right? So we created X doorknob with slightly different lock, okay? Now, why is this important to me? Because when I was 9, I got locked in the bathroom. When my kid was 11, they got locked in the closet because the closet door closed. They were just in there trying to get something. Next thing I know, they couldn't open the door. We realize there's a huge problem with these doorknobs. We're not the only ones going through this. There are also 1.5 million people who also doorknobs don't work, kids getting locked in closets. And here we go. You know what I mean? Like that's super, I'm super making it up.
No, but I'm
when
impressed.
But where I'm
I was like, for real?
no. But I could have sold you on a doorknob though. But
Exactly.
To your point. To your point.
That's the point. Here's the image. Here's the here's the opportunity. Here's why it's a pain point. Here's how we fix that pain point. And you're also inserting a sense of urgency, like, damn, this shit could happen to me. Because now you immediately have related it to the person you're talking to, of like, dang, my kids could get locked in. I could get locked in. And you're imagining that. So you've painted a picture in their head that, hey, this is actually happening, even if it hasn't happened to you. Whoever you're talking to immediately, as we all just did, was like, oh shit, are people getting locked in? And it sounds like that. Now I'm highlighting the pain, and I'm inserting a immediate fix solution now. And that sequencing of that was like, oh, okay. You could tell that, because I literally was like, as you were saying that, I was Googling get locked in fucking doors.
well, here's the thing too. You're not only, so depending on who you're talking about, they're going to care about the pain or the opportunity, and that's the kicker. Being able to have your language strike the balance in between the two. Some people are going to care about the pain being solved. Some people are going to be looking at the opportunity. So in that, let's just using that door example, I gave you like, oh shoot, it's dangerous, it's painful that they're getting locked in the closet. But also this is also an opportunity to get them out of the closet. Like this is an opportunity to get, this is an opportunity to get them out of the
He's selling his doorknob.
Right. It's an opportunity to get them out.
Right.
Right. And somebody's gonna say, actually, I want to get more people out. You know what I'm saying? And somebody's gonna say, actually, I don't want the pain of it even happening.
Right. Somebody don't want it to even get
right.
Even
what I think happens a lot of times in pitches, and I've seen thousands of them at this point, and I reviewed hundreds of applications to get into accelerators, incubators, grants, awards. What I've seen people do is over-index on the pain, but because they're hoping that if you have enough pain, you're gonna want an opportunity. Or you're suffering, of course you want to do something different. You're suffering, of course you want an opportunity. You're suffering, of course you want to change that, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's not everybody's purview of how they think about their lives. So like some people are gonna go, I no longer want this pain ever. Please give me a solution. And then some people are thinking, this pain ain't that bad. I mean, okay, the kid got locked in the closet. They banged on it. We got it. All our closets are within purview of me hearing a kid banging. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like some people are not going to look at it that way. But then some people are going to go, well, if it ever happened, I would want the opportunity to get out. Therefore, let's blah, 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 right? It's interesting. Yeah, speaking of the lock thing, this happened with trunks. And I don't know if y'all remember, but back in the day, there was no way to get out of a trunk.
You couldn't get out.
Right? And then somebody went, oh, we need to actually put a little latch in here where people can get out of the trunk, or now you can go through the car to get out of the trunk, you know, that kind of thing. And but who thought, you know, seemingly the idea would have been, ain't that many people getting locked in trunks? You know what I mean? Like that's some type of TV thing, or that's some type of thing that happens. Maybe the one nobody may have been thinking that was the big problem that a car manufacturer needed to solve. But it's like, no, actually, there's an opportunity here. We need people to have the opportunity to get out if it ever happened. Some people, all this stuff is not happening to yet. And those are going to be some of the people you're selling when you go to these hospitals. Because right now, a lot of these people in these industries that have been around forever, healthcare, government, freaking insurance, even the car industry, they don't think about solutions in the same way. So when you approach them, they're thinking they're fine. Whatever, we've been doing this. These folks is fine. We've been doing this all this time. Depending on what administrator you find. So they're not gonna always understand the pain, right? So like the pain may seem like pain to all the people, and we know this. We looking at the people in pain, and the people who can control the pain are only waiting for a different type of opportunity. They don't care about solving the pain in the same way that we know it needs to be solved. So the more articulations you can have around the opportunity that you have, and the pain, like pain and the opportunity and the why, and where that why is layered in like expertise, where that why is maybe layered in your own pains and solutions, where that why is maybe anchored in, like a lot of times people also have one anchor for their why as well. So it's like your why only has one dimension, but actually 9 times out of 10, your why has multiple dimensions, and nobody just helped you see the perception of why your why has multiple dimensions, right? If even if Akima is saying something as simple as like, I'm a traveling nurse, and over the course of seeing 50,000 patients in my career, then this is what I've seen. That is a research subset that is mixed whatever you're about to say next. You could say something simple as like, everybody need Band-Aids. We gonna believe it. Because you've been a traveling nurse for 15, 20 years, and you've served 50,000 patients. I ain't been a traveling nurse for 15, 20 years. I just go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a few nurses. Never been one that sees multiple patients. So whatever you're saying from your purview, if Maria's like, you know, I'm an engineer, and from my engineering background, I've solved complex problems for 5 industries, you know, then I'm gonna be like, yo, whatever she about to say next, if I mix like engineer to solve complex problems with like nurse who's helped people with complex issues, and I mix those two together, it's a win for why I want to hear more and more and more about what you have to say.
That's good. Thank you for that.
That's good.
You know what I mean? So like, I think what you have is phenomenal. I think what you have likely has the opportunity to shift the industry in a way, and I think there's a couple different things. Sometimes you start companies because they shift the industry and it's a call to action for an industry to be better, and then you get bought out, right? So, you know, however you accomplish your goal and whatever your goals are is, hey, no harm, no foul. If you don't do this forever and somebody goes, wait a minute, they told us what we need to do and we're going to buy it from them, hey, that's still a win. A win is a win. So it's like, depending on where you want to go with it. But, you know, I think that both what I can say for sure, the short time that we've known each other, is your heart and passion for what you're doing is definitely unmatched from you know, anybody at Epic. So I was saying, like, yeah, like there's no way they're thinking at this level in this way. So I think, you know, I'm excited for what you do and how you evolve this.
Thank you so much for that feedback. That was awesome, Ami. Appreciate
Right,
it.
I was about to say thank you so much. That was almost invaluable. I was thinking, I'm glad this is on LinkedIn and on YouTube where I can go back and watch it. And
Oh, because I was sitting here taking notes. So
I know I saw you. I was like, she taking notes, but I want to sit down and watch it and slow it down and just ingest it. And so I appreciate that.
And so since it is on LinkedIn, I'm gonna say this, you know, the thing about being at the stage that you're at, having a conversation that we're having, is becoming the team to watch. And so knowing that, like, with the level of depth you have, with the level of passion you have, with the level of like, we're gonna get this done that you have, I think that like anybody watching this should just know that, like, you know, don't discount this team. Like, articulation evolves over time, And you can't beat out a team that has the dedication and the passion behind what they're doing. So yeah, I just appreciate y'all for coming and sharing with us. And yeah, I see y'all, I hear y'all. I can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right, have a good rest of your day.
And you too.
All right.
That was some of the most, I would say, useful, like, direct information. I was taking that and I was thinking, like, you're right, I need to slow down, because I've been having problems with all that we've been doing at Hewed and building all this tech stack and so forth. And I get so nerded out and into it, and it's like, and I'm already naturally a verbose person, can overtalk a little bit, not get to the point.
Oh wow, really? Oh my goodness.
Damn, all right.
No, sorry. You set yourself up for that one, bro. I couldn't help. I had to do it. Sorry. But you're great. You're wonderful. DigitalDirectorsPlaybook.com. Make sure y'all check that out. Digital Directors Playbook on Substack.
Yes. We're moving it real quick to audience. Digital Directors Playbook. I've been looking at the data after the first 5. I'm moving it no longer to Sunday afternoons. I'm still going to be dropping Substacks throughout, but it's going to move to early Monday morning drop for the newsletter.
Listen, Monday is what's up, yo. I'm telling y'all, like the Omi brief Mondays. It's doing great. I love it. It's doing what I needed to do. Let me say that. Yeah, because I think right now greatest objective according to what, right? Yeah, this day 21 of the I was about to say the Omi show. Day 21 of the dang, what am I saying? Day 21 of the 30-day show. There you go. By the way, go to omibell.com, click try the breathing. Oh no, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Do it tomorrow. I got to put the audio up. It's there, but do it tomorrow. You can go breathe, but it doesn't have my audio on it right now. I'm going to have my audio on there soon. So tomorrow I want to get my audio, my voice up where you'll be able to fully follow the platform all the way through, save your sessions, and you'll be able to get, multiple reading sessions. I appreciate y'all. I will be in the house binge watching stuff all day. Alex Cross came back out and binge watch that. Beauty in the Black.
I fuck with Alex Cross.
It's good.
We just
Beauty in the Black came back out.
He just did a preview. He was in DC at Ben's Chili Bowl, did a little preview and a party. Aldous Hodge was here. It was dope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just Monday.
Dope. Yeah, that's awesome.
Shook his hand. I should have took a picture and fake like.
Yeah.
But I've met him a few times. He's one of his childhood friends worked in the White House with me, so he brought him to the White House and shit. So he was cool.
Word. That's what's up.
So you could tell. I love when you could tell he got a hit show because he feel like him, like the way he's not arrogant, but he had his, and he's got money, but he ain't got he's not Prada Gucci'd out, but it was like, oh, that's some either some rich shit or some designer came in and gave you this
I would like this shirt. This was $1,000 shirt, but it don't look like it's like that white tee. That's $1,000 white tee. You be like,
it look, but the thread count looks high. But his energy was just like, I got a hit show. I'm here. I know how to interact with women, like give them the energy they want without being like creepy or being too aggressive. What's up, dudes? Respect to the men. Like I was like, oh, he's angling. He's trying to be on stage getting a Golden Globe Best Actor one day. You could tell he's angling. He got that kind of energy right now.
Oh yeah, that I also feel like that there's like a class of actors that know how to strike that balance really well that didn't always exist. Like know how to strike that, like I'm comfortable in my skin and I'm great on screen and like I know how to be around women. Like I think like before there was like a lover boy, be around women, F boy vibe to some of these dudes. But I don't know. These lately, there's a class of actors out there that feel like their mama they had good mamas. You know what I mean? Like he had a good mama. His mama Like, shout out to his mom. You know, shout out to Michael B. Jordan's mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is like it's. I feel like there's a class of actors that's coming forth that's like that, where it's like your mama is alright. And not to say about nobody else's mama, but I'm just saying,
No,
like
I
your
did.
mama, like yeah, you listen to your mama.
You listen to
You know, that's the one. You didn't listen to your uncle. You listened to your mama. You know what I'm saying? So I think like that is that. I think we're seeing that evolve over time. But yeah. So there's that. So the Alex Cross, Beauty and the Black is back out. I don't know if y'all been watching Blue Therapy, but I might have to finish that up.
what is that?
Blue Therapy on Netflix, the UK show, but they started out on BET Plus, I think, but it's on Netflix right now. It's a show, UK show, like couples therapy, but for some reason it's hitting me different than the US couples therapy. I don't know if it's the lady's approach or if it's like the people on the show, but it's intriguing me a little bit more than the couples therapy out here. What else is out? Imperfect Women just came out, which is what's the woman that played Olivia Pope? I can't think of her name right now. Why can't I think of her name? Lord forgive me.
Oh, you mean Kerry Washington?
Kerry Washington, Lord. Her and some other amazing women actors.
I was like,
what's the woman
like,
that played Handmaid's Tale, the main character lady?
oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know,
You
right?
know what I'm talking about? I can't think of her name either. I'm so terrible with entertainers, yeah. I don't know people's names. It's bad. You know the guy who played do you watch Bel Air?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so
I've watched
unserious.
the first season. I watched the first season. I didn't watch.
Do you know the dude that played Marcus? That was Coco Jones' boyfriend, husband?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it. He's super great. Like let me say that. He's a great guy. But the first time I saw him at a party, at a Grammy party. And he in the show he died. And so when I saw him in person, I was like, "Oh my God, you're still alive." He was like, "Girl."
It wasn't funny to him.
Yeah, at first he was like, "What?" You know what I mean? And then he was like, "Oh," straight face. But so after that, I was so tickled. I was just laughing. You know what I'm saying? But the next time I saw him at an influencer event, and we talked for like 40 minutes. He's so great. And he's played in multiple things. He played in the Umbrella Academy. He was the main, like, do you watch the Umbrella Academy?
No, I haven't gotten really through. I watched the episode-ish.
Like the first couple ones. But
Not
yeah,
first.
he was in, I think it's the second.
It's so much that I'm backed up like on so many things. And let me ask you this. I know we're way over time. Question. Do you feel like ingesting so much, and even the binge watching, there's so much content I now want to get out when I'm literally getting emails and looking for my assistant. Like, remember, you got this script, you got this idea. And now I'm trying to like, there's so many ideas I want to get out. I actually don't want to see more. The more I like sit around watching that, I start to feel bad pretty quickly about like because somebody locked in and wrote this. Somebody locked in, shoot it and edit it, and then they gave it to us. I need to fucking lock in and give people something they want. And it's actually in the last few months, as my ideas and as the ability, I'm no longer, you're no longer really limited by the finance. And by finance, I mean to hire the right people. And it's like, while I have skill set to edit and do other things, and I was like, oh, I know I'm not the best. I'd love hire editor, editing team. Now with the tools that allow you to verbalize, visualize so many more ideas, even in a content space. And I've kept tons of notes, written notes on my phone, Google Docs of ideas, skits, trainings, quick content to make, informational stuff. I have not found the same joy of sitting, even going to the movies. I would say literally in the last 3 to 5 months, or watching TV. It's something that the only thing that still brings me pure joy of watching is basketball, maybe a little bit of sports, but I don't know if you felt that when you like know you have so much in you and then you sit down and like let it wash over you. I'm not saying I don't take time to chill and stuff, but specifically sitting and watching stuff or watching long things and multiple, it's just there's a little bit of joy because I always am watching a movie like, damn, somebody locked in and made this movie. I need to fucking lock in and make mine.
Yeah, I think I hear you. I don't know. I think I'm taking it different. So in the sense that like there is there is my work, right? So there's Black Girl Ventures, there is what I do there is my team, there's like conversations I have to have, raising money, all that. So like am I going to look at do I want to look at Shark Tank? No, I don't. Do I want to look at do I want to go to pitch competitions? Not as much, unless people I know are pitching and I'm rooting for them. It's not something I just want to go enjoy, right? Like I that's not a lot of times, especially when they have like celebrity judges, because a lot of times celebrity judges aren't coming from business angles. Even when they have businesses, which is crazy, they don't always come from business angles. They're still like entertaining their audience that may be watching with the responses versus like really telling people what's really going on. And so like it's just that stuff gets annoying to me. So I'm not going into my sector to enjoy things, right? Even though I'm creating content, like I told you the other day, like I want to be able to talk culturally to anyone about anything. So like there's some of these things that are important for spaces that I may be entering into in order to build relationship. So like I'm keeping that sort of eye and pulse on certain things. Now with the shows I watch, some of that may be true too, right? Like especially when it's cultural phenomenon shows. Now some of them I didn't watch. Like I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I didn't get into it at a time when it was hot. But I think like what I found is that what I'm always thinking about different ways to build relationship. And a lot of times in building a relationship, being able to like quote put somebody on to something is one way that they get super intrigued by whatever it is you do in your analysis of it. So while I love documentaries, so I typically watch a lot of documentaries because it's teaching me history around things, and I have the opportunity to have my own POV that I want to go into conversations with. So some of the time, like let's say I'm talking to somebody and this is everything that I'm doing around relationship building. So this is fundraising, this is events, like networking events. Like when I'm going into these places, I'm typically talking about culture, or we're having conversations about culture. And the minute somebody's like, "What? No, I haven't seen that. Tell me about it." And we start a conversation like, "Oh yeah, that's like this other thing I saw." And then so a lot of times when people go into spaces in there, like they may be considering themselves an introvert, or you go into spaces and you just don't know how to start conversations. I find that viral things and movies or TV shows are easy ways to enter in conversations. So
Very
sometimes, and that doesn't mean that you always got to binge watch the whole show, but like I'm just saying that, like, so
having a
sometimes
reference point, knowing
having a reference
having
point,
a scene, know
or
about a character.
let's say we bring up a topic like we're talking about cinematography. Then I'm like, yo, actually, one of my favorite shows, you know what I mean? Like for cinematography is, or like just the camera angles, the timing, that like, so I think like things like that where you're not talking about the show as much as you're talking about your understanding of how you process. And when people understand, like, again, this goes back to kind of like what I was telling them. When people start to understand like how you process things, they trust you more. And for me, it's authentic because I really do like watching shows. I like watching. I'm a movie person. Like, I will go to the movies. Like, I'm down. Like, let's go. And I'm going to see whatever cartoon movies, live action movies. Like, I'm a movie person. I like to watch movies, but I think I like to be entertained in that way. But I may not always listen to. Well, I can't even say that. It depends. So I would say for me, it's. I'm putting out a lot more than I'm consuming most of the time. That's my balance. So while I'm putting out, I'm not really watching like social. But when I'm on a show like this, it's a 30-day show. I'm keeping up because I'm every day having to talk. And that's what I learned about being on Sirius, like on Sirius XM. It's like keeping up with culture is important to the way I'm able to deliver to my audience. And so that's why I'm keeping up with it. But if you separate those things out and you say to yourself, and I'm not saying this is wrong, but you're looking at it like, I gotta lock in, I gotta get content done, right? There's something, for me, there's something in there that gets my content done that allows, because you know what? If they locked in and they did that and they got millions of viewers, then there was something to what they locked in on. And that's what I'm trying to see. So I'm trying to like, why is this story great? Why are millions of people watching this story? Then I'm like, dang, you know what? I kind of like, I'm not a Tyler Perry fan. I don't watch anything that Tyler Perry does except for Beauty and the Black.
I get you.
So
No,
I'm usually
wait. Let me
consuming.
make sure it's clear. I'm a cinephile. I love movies. I got the Regal app so I can go see a movie a day, and I'm probably gonna go treat myself to go see I don't know what today. I'm saying just this is hyper specific. Oh wow, it came in. This is hyper specific
To
to
capacity.
both capacity.
Mm.
Just these last 3 to 5 months, as I
Okay.
was ending the year, looking what do you want out of 26. When you're looking at screen time, like I looked at the data of my year, how much did I travel? What was I spending money on? Looking in I did a little screen time analysis for the like over a couple months. What are my actual habits? 2-screen viewing. Am I watching too much just YouTube in the background? Is it not? Because the ultimate thing was like the definition of insanity. If I do what I feel like, I've enjoyed my life these last 2 years, but there's certain financial goals and business goals, content and creative goals I have not reached. When you really like are being sobering about
But do
doing
you feel like
audit-
you're not reaching your goals because of your consumption?
Oh, consumption has a lot to do with it. The in-between times, as much as I'm working, having on this, I got the dual screen here, the travel screen in my main desk. I got a big screen, or having a TV on in the background. It is naturally, it's like, oh, we all use the excuse, I like the noise, I like something else. It is naturally causing your brain to have to, even if it's 5% more, focus on some other shit over here, or half focus on some other shit over here while you're doing something here, which doesn't give you full focus. It is the micro 15, 20-minute podcast shows, things I'll say I'm taking a break, stack up. I'm already got the ADHD / and have so much energy. You start stacking 15, 20, 30. Oh, there was a cool hour and a half. Yes, did I catch up? Is there a reason to catch up and read? But it's not being highly unstructured and organized. It's probably breaking the flow of doing other work. Going to the movies is not a bad. That's actually my little mini vacation. I go movies once or twice a week, and it's like, all right, this is my little 2 hours. But it's the same way of like when you have a cheat day. You can't have a cheat meal every day. The idea is like
You know what I think about the whole ADHD thing? What I think about it is understanding how to direct it. So like, you know how, like if you take, well, I've never taken Adderall, but for people who take Adderall, what happens is they're able to focus. What happens with me is, and this, I don't know, as I'm saying this, you know, I'm like, maybe this is really quirky, but my tap out, what I used to do is I used to go follow tutorials. So this is why I think this vibe coding thing, bringing full circle back to, it works for me, and the like asking Claude to keep solving problems while I'm doing the thing, is because when I used to get like overwhelmed or whatever, I would go and I would just pull up a tutorial on like how to create a graphic or something, and I would just follow it. Because now in hindsight, I can say I think I would do that because it was something else giving me instructions that I didn't have to make up. And so like just following something else. And that gave my brain time to tap out and create at the same time. When I direct that, you know how like they say, when you have ADD or ADHD, you tend to hyper focus on something. What I tend to do is the lock in is like I'm hyper focused and I can't do nothing. Like when I was focusing on building this app yesterday, the TV can be on, my daughter's saying something to me, and I'm hearing all of it. Maybe this is the mom in me, but like I'm hearing all of it, but like I'm like, bro, I gotta get this. My brain is like here. Like I hear it, it's going. It's almost like, you know, in movies where they do that slow down moment where like everything is around you, but it's like, and then you like slow motion. That's what
Yeah.
happens to me when I'm like focused on something. So what I've learned over time is like, how do I focus it better versus being like, dang, I got ADHD and I'm all over the place. I mean, like, no, I have not been diagnosed, but I'm just saying that like, I decided to be like, no, I'm gonna lock in on this and this is gonna be locked in. I don't always get it right. It ain't perfect. So I don't know. I think I just, in the way my brain works, I just tend to reposition things to work for me. And I think from a time perspective, because I think you're speaking to time, you're speaking to capacity, you're speaking to nervous system, you're speaking to a lot there. You're saying something that people need to hear for sure. Around like, how do you manage all of this? Like, that's probably a bigger, broader question. Is like, how the heck do you manage all of this? And people ask me that all the time, and I really can't answer it.
When they always say like, yo, how are you doing all this? And you going,
Yeah, I can't answer it.
I was like, the answer is, I don't know, God. When I was born, there was they put something different in me, and I'm maxing out on it. I was like, the thing I've been more honest, depending on the platform and in the audience and how well I know the person, but I'm always saying some version of it. I was like, I love it, one, so it gives me that natural boost to want to do more. Two, it's not as easy as it looks. And the reality is like, it's expensive and tiring, but
Why is it
what would I rather
expensive?
be? No, just time
Or
and
you just
energy.
saying that in general?
Like moving around. One of the biggest questions, like how you
Oh,
travel
because you're always traveling. Got it.
and doing, and it's like they just one of my friends is like, do you got like a flight Uber app? And I was like, nah, I was like, if you looked at my tax return, you see, like, I pay real money to move around. But it's how do you do it when you say I can't answer it? It's always like, I mean, it's just natural. It's I don't sleep as much. There's some sacrifice that comes with it. You know what I mean? I don't get to do all of this over here with maybe family and friends because I'm over here doing this other thing.
But I
All right.
also, if I'm honest with myself, what I had to also come to in the court, and over the course of doing all that, is that on one hand, like my commentary, I had to change, and I'm not saying this is you, but I had to change my commentary around it because if I'm honest, I like it. You know what I'm saying? So like I do
Oh,
because
that's
I
what I
like it.
said. I said I'm doing what I love doing it. I always say that. It's like, how you do it? Because I love doing it. I mean, I don't know. It costs money. I always say it's like it's expensive and it can be tiring. But I always say I love doing it. I move this way. I'm doing all these projects. I'm constantly trying to push my forward. I'm always working because I feel like I'm not always working. Like even when I'm working, it's like I found something I love doing. Like, don't you? If somebody says, give me a list of 10 things you love doing, and if you could do 3 of them a lot, that's why I'm doing it. I don't know. It looked like work. I'm just trying to make sure it makes some money. So, and be strategic enough about that so it keep making some money. That's how I look at it. But anyways, this has been an amazing show. I'm grossly behind. I gotta hit some other
All right.
metrics today. I love talking to you, Omi. Thank you.
Ah, thanks.
21 days. We only got
21 days.
I got one, if not one, maybe 2 special guests this weekend. I had sent them that email yesterday and they're just texting me during the show. So I will hit you up offline. I don't even want to
Are you
announce
coming tomorrow?
tomorrow. I'm going to church. Tomorrow,
Yeah,
Sunday.
I thought you said that. Okay.
No, but this week. I'm saying this week.
Oh,
I'm
you mean
gonna,
this week coming up?
yes. So
Okay, great.
for those who are still on, I won't be on tomorrow, but I'll be back Monday.
All right, cool. All right, thank y'all so much. At the end of the show gonna end. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We appreciate y'all. We done went 2 hours today. Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Kim, we'll see y'all Monday. Thank y'all for listening to the 30 Day Show, watching the 30 Day Show. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Bye.